Hi, Shelley. This is Bailey sharing my decoration committee diary, if you will. It'll sound a lot like a rant and like a podcast, but I'm kind of hoping that's what you're looking for, so here it goes. When I found out my group was going to be me, Sadaf, Jamila, and Shawnee, I was actually pretty happy. I know all those girls have their own strengths, and even though I've never worked with any of them in the past, I was really eager to see what it would be like to work with them and collaborate and get their ideas. When my theme for Sky's the Limit was chosen, I was ecstatic and I was so happy that I was put in the decoration and venue group because I thought this would really be the best place for me to carry out my event vision. Like the decorations I wanted, the mood that I wanted to have, the lighting, everything. Everything right down to the centerpieces. I was really excited to be part of this committee, so I thought right from the beginning that this event was going to be such a success because I had such a good group, and I know that these girls are fairly easy to work with, even though I've never worked with them before. From what I've heard from other classmates, I kind of knew what to expect, so I was pretty excited for that. Our semester has mostly been spent looking up decorations and negotiating with the St. Clair Center for the Arts. We've been through a lot with this venue, and thankfully, after all of our struggles, we've been able to keep it at the Center for the Arts. But other than that, we prepare a progress report for each week's meeting. We try to stay on top of the numbers from guest relations so that we have an idea of how full our venue will be because, this goes hand in hand with the energy and the mood of our event. We don't want our guests to feel crowded or feel like there's a lot of empty space. Could create awkwardness and just not really a nice flow for our event. So, just trying to stay on top of trying to get some ideas for decorations other than centerpieces because we've had a lot of ideas for centerpieces, but we're just trying to branch off and see what we can do with the rest of the venue. After working with these three girls over the whole semester, I think that Sadaf and I have a really great chemistry together. I'd say more so than me with any of the other members of my group. Sadaf can be kind of controlling, and I know she just wants to handle everything. And she's really good at it. She's really good at convincing people and, trying to persuade and get, things for cheaper. Kind of haggle, I guess. She's really good at that. But I always tell her that if she needs help, she just needs to ask. I obviously don't have a problem, calling different venues, calling different places to quote for different decoration supplies, things like that. Because it's not up to her to do the whole event. Like, it's our whole group. So, um, we're both really good at getting things done. We both show up to meetings, and we're definitely both trying the hardest out of our group, I think, to try and make this event the best it can be and try and make the decoration and venue look really great. Shawnee and Jamila, on the other hand, I feel like they've been MIA a lot, especially Shawnee, although this doesn't really surprise me, but she never really seems to help that much outside of class, and she's hardly in class either. It's really hard to keep her on top of things when she doesn't come to the meetings every week. I mean, the other day she asked me you know, what we did last week, and I was just like, well, we had to get together all of our reports, and I was just trying to fill her in, and it's just a hassle because she hasn't been at any of the meetings, so she's really out of the loop, and it's frustrating for us as a committee, as a subcommittee, to try and get our crap together, when half of our team is missing all the time. Jamila goes out of her way to text me or write on Facebook, um, asking what's going on, asking what she can do to help, offering suggestions, offering ideas, and I really appreciate that from her. I mean, she gives really good input. She has a lot of creative ideas that we have been able to work with. She found the stuffing for the clouds that we want to make for the centerpieces. She went out and actually found a good deal on those, so she picked up the stuffing for that. But she has given a lot of good input, and I think that if she were in class more, our team would be a lot stronger from week to week. And personally, for myself, I know that, I've missed a couple classes, but I really am trying hard to make this decoration committee, you know, make our venue look the best that it can look because that is truly our job. As I mentioned before, we've had a lot of struggles with the venue. With all the politics in regards to the college, we were pretty much forced to have the event at the Center for the Arts, which is okay because that was my ideal venue anyway. But when they're sticking us with the millions of fees and being extremely difficult and extremely inconsistent, it was a sad realization that there was a really good possibility that we would have to switch our venue. And this was already like 3 or 4 weeks in, so that was a huge disappointment. I remember after going to the Center for the Arts with Sadaf and meeting with Patricia, we felt so defeated. We went back to the classroom to break the news to you and Vero and Jason and Jess, and none of us were impressed. We were so upset with the Center for the Arts and what they've been doing, giving us inconsistent information. Finally, Vero had to get involved, of course, and she had to talk to the president of the college to get things straightened out. It was it was really sad that it took that much effort to get the college just to participate with us. You would think that any educational institution worth its salt would have already had a policy in place for student groups wanting to rent out their halls. And because the SCCA is so nice and there's so many events that are held there, I mean, weddings, galas, there's things there all the time. You would think that they would have already had a policy in place for students. It really seems like common sense to me, but I guess common sense isn't so common anymore. So thankfully, though, everything is set. We got back down to our original dinner price, and now there's a policy in place for any future student groups who want to host an event at the SCCA. So I feel like that's a really big accomplishment for us, and I'm really happy that even though we struggled a lot with it, that now future students won't have to. Branching off of what I just talked about with the SCCA, I would really consider that to be our biggest accomplishment as a subcommittee throughout the entire semester. I feel really good knowing that because of our struggles and effort, like I just said, future groups can now have affordable, hassle free venue accommodations at the college. Sadaf also got a decorator to sponsor the event. This is also a huge accomplishment because it will save us a lot of money on necessities such as chair covers, tablecloths, napkins, table runners, etc. However, and this is another struggle that has just come up within the last couple days actually, the decorator told Sadaf that she wanted to do everything, including the centerpieces. Now, this really upset our entire group, and me especially, because I came up with the idea of the cloud centerpieces, which I talked about in class, taking cotton stuffing and putting fake lights inside. And it goes with the theme. Maybe we could put some silver paint on them or something to try and make them look as, cloud like as possible. It'd be cheap, it goes with the theme, it's easy, it's not breakable. I just think it's a really, really great idea. And everyone was on board with these centerpieces, so we all told Sadaf basically to tell the decorator that this is only one tiny element of the decor as a whole, and that the decorator needs to be flexible with us. I mean, we're getting marked on our decorations. We are the decorations committee. I don't think that we should even have a decorator, but it's going to save us a lot of costs. I mean, I think Sadaf said that chair covers alone would cost us 500 something dollars, and that's just insane. So, I mean, getting the decorator will cover a lot of costs, and if she's going to sponsor the event, then that's great. But I know Sadaf doesn't want to be too pushy and tell the decorator how it is because we don't want to lose the whole sponsorship. But we need to be the ones doing some of the decorating, and if everyone in our group loves this cloud idea so much, then I don't think we should flex on it. So we decided that we're just going to make the centerpieces anyway and pretty much put them on the tables anyway. And I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but we need to have some say. I mean, hopefully the decorator will understand that this is a graded event. This isn't just something that we're throwing together. So hopefully she works with us there. Okay, forgive me for a second. I'm going to rant. I just want to quickly add that looking back over our progress reports and our event visions, even not just our subcommittee, but as the class as a whole, we had so many high hopes for this event, and it kind of makes me sad that this event isn't going to be anywhere near our original expectations. I really just want to have a successful event, and even even though we're not, anywhere near where we were supposed to be, where we wanted to be, I just want to make sure that we're not embarrassed by how everything turns out. That's my main worry. We have put a lot of work into this event, and it would be a shame if it flopped. I would also like to add that everything seemed kind of like a domino effect throughout the semester, which was a struggle for the entire class, I think. With all of our difficulty getting funds from SRC, everything seemed to pile up. We couldn't buy directions, or decorations, sorry, or print materials because we didn't have money. We didn't have money because we didn't have sponsors. We didn't have sponsors because we didn't have any promotional material. And it just all piled one on top of the other and really seemed like a vicious circle. My biggest takeaway from that would probably be to try and make sure we have some funds before starting, make sure we can access our funds before we start planning, and try and just be more prepared for any roadblocks that might come in our way. I feel that this course as a whole was a really good experience. I I now know how many different elements go into planning a large scale event, and I know how much time and effort everything takes. Personally, I don't think this class should have had a required textbook or a test. We didn't have any lectures, so a test was kind of a strange way to assess our learning, I feel. I think that an in class assignment or assessing our in class discussions would have been more beneficial, but I like that we had committee meetings set up every week. This gave us every subcommittee a chance to share their progress and discuss future to do lists, I suppose, with other groups. It gave us the time we needed to collaborate between different committees and within our own subcommittees. I think that Jason and Jess did a really great job as directors. They had an agenda set, they knew what needed to be done. Even with the fundraiser, they have a lot of good feedback, they have a lot of good ideas, and I think that they were really good for the committee leaders. I think this course was a good branch off of Alicia's event class that we had to take first semester, and I think that what I learned will be useful in real life situations. Well, Shelly, that's really all I have to say for the final assessment. I can't wait to see how this event turns out, and I really hope that it's a success. Thanks and take care.